Welcome! In this video we're going to do an unboxing of the Magic the Gathering Commanders bundle for Avatar The Last Airbender. So down at the table we can see I made it to the pre-release for Avatar The Last Airbender. So in this we're going to have 2 of the 10 Magic Gathering Avatar Last Airbenders Commanders bundle booster fun cards. It's a mouthful. 9 regular boosters, special Avatar Airbender versions of the Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, and Swiftfoot boots, a click wheel, 5 traditional and regular art Journeylands, those are full art, and the card box, plus 1 collector booster and 10 traditional foil and 10 regular basic lands. So let's go ahead and open this up. That went smoothly. All right, a little piece of artwork. And our box, nice and foily. And opening up, we have our health wheel here, making some nice clicks. So we're starting with 94 health. And we'll see how fast we can lose that. It's very nice. Then we've got our lands, specialty cards, collector booster, and our 9 regular boosters. And in our box, basically we've got some punch out dividers, +1/+1 counters, and some additional tokens. All right, let's start with our lands. So first, the shiny ones. We have the basic plains, extended art or full art, an island, swamp, mountain, and a forest. Then still shiny, we've got 2 plains, same art, 2 islands, swamps, mountains, and forest. And then not so shiny, just making sure we've got the same, same things going on. And our basic regular lands. Then our avatar versions of some other cards, the Arcane Signet. Tap, add a mana of any color in your commander's color identity. The Soul Ring, just tap to add 2 general for a cost of 1. Swiftfoot boots, equipped creature has hexproof and haste, equipped for 1, base cost of 2. And the Worldly Tutor, for 1 green, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, then shuffle and put the card on top. And Fierce Guardianship for cost of 2 general and a blue instant. If you control a commander, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost. Counter target non-creature spell. Alright, so that's the stuff you'll get in every box. So now for the randomizing, pop open our first booster. If I can get it to come out properly. Starting every day with some food, token artifact, and a bear on the other side. It's got a good meal, foil island, Master Piondoa, cost 4 and a white. First strike, whenever he attacks, look the top 4 cards of your library, may reveal an ally, equipment or lesson card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. 4/4 for stats. Then redirect lightning for 1 red and an instant lesson. It's an additional cost to cast this spell. Pay 5 life or pay 2. Change the target of target spell or ability with a single target. Zula on the Hunt. Legendary creature, human noble, cost of 3 plus a black, fire bending. Whenever this creature attacks, add 2 red. This mana lasts until the end of combat. Whenever Azula attacks, you lose a life and create a clue token. You can run, but I'll catch you. Then the Cave of Two Lovers. Saga card. So create 2 1/1 white ally creature tokens. Level 2, search your library for mountain or cave card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Then 3 is Earthbound 3. Target land you control becomes a 0/0 creature with haste that's still a land. Put 3+1/+1 counters on it. When it dies or is exiled, return it to the battlefield tapped. Then a Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. Creature, human druid ally for a cost of 1 plus a blue and a black with lifelink. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. With this token can't block or be blocked by non-spirit creatures. Stats of 2 and 4. Then Earth Kingdom General. Creature, human soldier ally. When this creature enters, Earthbend 2. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature, you may gain that much life. Do this only once per turn. Let's see, did I have a green spot? Nope, not yet. All right, Curious Farm Animals. For 1 white, got a boar, elk, burdox. When this creature dies, you gain 3 life. Or pay 2, sacrifice this creature, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. So these are the commons. Guess I missed that. Uncommons, which means I've already put my rare down here, which was the Redirect Lightning. All right, next up, a Compassionate Healer for 1 plus a white. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you gain a life and scry 1. Zula Always Lies. An instant lesson for 1 and a black. Choose 1 or both. Target creature gets -1/-1 till the end of the turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. A Cat Owl. Flying Catbird. Whenever this creature attacks, untap target artifact or creature for 3 and either white or blue. Then a Badger Mole for 4 plus a green. This creature enters, Earthbend 2, and creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have trample. Yuyan Archers for 1 plus a red. It's got reach. When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. And Barrels of Blasting Jelly for a cost of 1. You spend 1 to add a mana of any color. Activate only once each turn. For 5 and tapping, sacrifice this artifact. It deals 5 damage to target creature. So that was pack 1 complete. Next pack we have a copy token and a spirit. And Meditation Pools. Enters tapped. We can tap it for green or blue, or 4 and tap, sacrifice this land to draw a card. Benevolent River Spirit. Creature spirit for 2 blue as an additional cost to cast the spell Waterbend 5. While paying a Waterbend cost, you can tap your artifacts and creatures to help. Each one pays for 1. Flying Ward 2, and when this creature enters, scry 2. And 4 and 5 for the stats. I guess I was using that for my blue spot. Then we have a Waterbender Ascension for 1 and a blue. This is our rare enchantment. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on this enchantment. Then if it has 4 or more quest counters on it, draw a card. Waterbend 4, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Then we have some Boomerang Basics. 1 cost blue. Sorcery Lesson, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If you controlled that permanent, draw a card. Solstice Revelations for 2 plus a red, an instant lesson. Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the spell's mana value is less than the number of mountains you control. If you don't cast that card this way, put it into your hand. And flashback 6 plus a red, you may cast this card from your graveyard. for its flashback cost. Then we have Haru Hidden Talent for 1 plus a green. Whenever another ally you control enters, Earthbend 1. Lo and Lee, the twin tutors. When they enter, search your library for a lesson or noble card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Noble creatures you control and lesson spells you control have lifelink. Sandbender's Storm. For a cost of 3 plus a white, choose one, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Earthbend 3. And Rabaroo Troop. A Rabbit Kangaroo. Landfall, whenever land you control enters, this creature gains flying until end of turn and you gain a life. And we have Plane Cycling 2 on that. And a Hog Monkey for a cost of 2 and a black. So it's a Boar Monkey. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains menace until end of turn. You can exhaust, pay 5, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. And Rowdy Snowballers, 2 and a blue. When this creature enters, tap target creature and opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Rebellious Captives, exhaust +6, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature, then Earthbend 2. Treetop Freedom Fighters for 2 and a red. Haste, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. And then we have a Rumble Arena. Vigilance, when this enters, scry 1. Can tap to add 1 or pay 1 and tap, add 1 mana of any color. Next pack, we have an ally token with a clue. Extended Art Swamp. Combustion Man for 3 plus 2 red. Whenever he attacks, destroy target permanent unless its controller has Combustion Man. Deal damage to them equal to his power. Then Zuko Conflicted for a black and a red. At the beginning of your first main phase, choose one that hasn't been chosen and you lose 2 life. Draw a card, put +1/+1 counter on Zuko, add a red, or exile Zuko, then return him to the battlefield under an opponent's control. Then Earth Kingdom Protectors for 1 white. Vigilance, sacrifice this creature, another target ally you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Sokka's Haiku for 3 plus 2 blue, counter target spell, draw a card, then mill 3 cards, untap target land. Then Flopsy, Boomy's Buddy for 4 and 2 green. When Flopsy enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. An Ape Goat. Each creature you control with power 4 or greater can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Then a Dragonfly Swarm for 1 plus a blue and a red. It's a Dragon Insect. Flying Ward 1. This creature's power is equal to the number of non-creature, non-land cards in your graveyard. And when this creature dies, if there's a lesson card in your graveyard, draw a card. The Geyser Leaper. So 4 in a blue, flying, waterbend 4, draw a card, then discard a card. And then Deserters. When this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Pirate Peddlers. For 2 and a black, Death Touch. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. The Lost Days for 4 and a blue. An instant lesson. The owner of target creature or enchantment puts it into their library, second from the top or on the bottom. You create a clue token. And a Rocky Rebuke for 1 and a green. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature and opponent controls. And How to Start a Riot for 2 and a red. Target creature gains menace until end of turn. Creatures target player controls get +2/+0 until end of turn. And the answer is at the bottom. How to start a riot? Hey, riot. Then a platypus bear, which is a platypus bear. Cost of 1 plus either a green or blue. Defender, when this creature enters, mill 2 cards. As long as there's a lesson card in your graveyard, this creature can attack as though it didn't have Defender. And our next pack, we have an ally with a clue. In a Sunblessed Peak, her land enters tapped, add a red or white. For 4 and tap, sacrifice this land to draw a card. And a saber-tooth moose lion, also known as an elk cat, for 4 plus 2 greens, has reach and 4 cycling 2. And our rare is a land. This land enters tapped unless you control a basic land. You can tap it to add a green, or for 2 and a green, tap it, Earthbend 2, activate only as a sorcery. Invasion Reinforcements for 1 and a white. Flash, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. Then another copy of Combustion Man. Katara, Bending Prodigy for 2 and a blue. At the beginning of your end step, if she is tapped, put a +1/+1 counter on her. Waterbend for 6 to draw a card. And then Bitter Work for 1 plus a red and a green. Whenever you attack a player with 1 or more creatures with power 4 or greater, draw a card. Exhaust, spending 4, Earthbend 4, activate only during your turn. Yip Yip for 1 white. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 till the end of turn. If that creature is an ally, it also gains flying until end of turn. An Earth Kingdom Soldier for 4 and a white or green with Vigilance. This creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. Then a Beetle-Headed Merchant for 4 and a black. Whenever this creature attacks, you may sacrifice another creature or artifact. If you do, draw a card and put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Octopus Form for a blue. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Untap it. Then we have an Audience for 1 and a green. Tap to add a green. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, add 2 instead. And a Cunning Maneuver for 1 and a red. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. Create a clue token. Then some Earth Rumble Wrestlers for 3 plus a red or green with reach. This creature gets +1/+0 and has trample as long as you control a land creature or a land entered the battlefield under your control this turn. In this pack we have an ally and a clue. Full Art Mountain. Boomy, King of 3 Trials for 5 and a green. So legendary creature. When he enters, choose up to X, where X is a number of lesson cards in your graveyard. Put 3 +1/+1 counters on him. Target player scries 3 or Earthbend 3. Then the Earth King. 3 plus a green. When the Earth King enters, create a 4/4 green bear creature token. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control with power 4 or greater attack, search your library for up to that many basic lands, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Fire Nation attacks for 4 and red. Create 2/2 red soldier creature tokens with firebending and flashback 8 with a red. Then Leaves from the Vine for 1 and a green. For 1, mill 3 cards and create a food token. 2 is put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. And 3, draw a card if there's a creature or lesson card in your graveyard. Then we have some Vengeful Villagers for 3 and a white. Whenever this creature attacks, choose target creature an opponent controls, tap it. Then you may sacrifice an artifact or creature. If you do, put a stun counter on the chosen creature. Then Professor Zai, Anthropologist. Tap, discard a card to draw a card. or spend 1 and tap, sacrifice him, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Activate only during your turn. Then Water Tribe Captain for 2 and a white. Pay 5, creatures you control get +1/+1 till the end of the turn. A Corrupt Court Official for 1 and a black. When this creature enters, target opponent discards a card. And an Iguana Parrot, a Lizard Bird Pirate for 2 and a blue, flying and vigilance and prowess. An Ostrich Horse, which is a bird horse for 2 and a green. This creature enters, mill 3 cards. You may put a land card from among them into your hand. If you don't, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And a Porcupine, which is a boar porcupine for 2 and a red. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Then an Earthbending Lesson for 3 and a green. Get to Earthbend 4. And a Fire Nation Raider for 3 and a red. Raid, when this creature enters, if you attack this turn, create a clue token. And we have an ally with a clue again. Foggy Bottom Swamp. Enters tapped. Tap to have black or green, or pay 4 and tap, sacrifice this land to draw a card. A foil Octopus Form. We've seen the regular. Some Wartime Protesters for 3 and a red. With haste, whenever another ally you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, and it gains haste until end of turn. June, the Bounty Hunter, for 1 and a black. She can't block as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, and for 1, sacrifice another creature, create a clue token, activate only during your turn. And we have Appa, the Loyal Sky Bison, for 4 and 2 white. Flying, whenever he enters or attacks, choose 1. Target creature you control gains flying until end of turn. Airbend, another target non-land permanent you control. Exile it. When it's exiled, its owner may cast it for 2 rather than its mana cost. Ty Lee, the Artful Acrobat, for 2 and a red with prowess. Whenever he attacks, you may pay 1. When you do, target creature can't block this turn. The Ember Island Production for 3 and 2 blue. Choose 1. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except it's not legendary, and it's a 4/4 hero in addition to its other types. Create a token copy that's a copy of target creature an opponent controls, except it's not legendary, and it's a 2/2 coward in addition to its other types. Then the Sandbender's Storm. For 3 and a white, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater, or Earthbend. I think we've seen that one. Some Glider Kids for 2 and a white. Flying, when this creature enters, scry 1. A Swamp Snare Trap for 2 and a black. Spell costs 1 less to cast if it targets a creature with flying. Enchant it, and it gets -5/-3. A Giant Koi for 4 and 2 blue. Waterbend 3, creature can't be blocked this turn, and Island Cycling. A Messenger Hawk for 2 and a blue or black. Flying, when this creature enters, create a clue token. Creature gets +2/+0 as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. Saber-Tooth Moose Lion, I believe we've seen that one. And Fire Nation Cadets for 1 red. Has Firebending 2 as long as there's a lesson card in your graveyard, and for 2 this creature gets +1/+0 until the end of the turn. Next pack, Copy and Spirit. Kyoshi Village, enters tapped. Tap it for a green or white, and then 4 and tap, sacrifice to draw a card. The Rough Rhino Cavalry for 4 and a red, Firebending 2, exhaust. An 8, put 2 +1/+1 counters on this creature. Gains trample until the end of the turn. Suki, the Courageous Rescuer for 1 and 2 white. Other creatures you control get +1/+0. Whenever another permanent you control leaves the battlefield during your turn, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Then an Epic Downfall. For 1 and a black, exile target creature with mana value 3 or greater. Team Avatar for 2 and a white. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets plus X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. And for 2 and a white, discard this card. It deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature. Allies at Last for 2 and a green. Affinity for allies. Costs 1 less to cast for each ally you control, and up to 2 target creatures you control each deal damage equal to their power to target creature an opponent controls. Then a Meteor Sword for 7. When this equipment enters, destroy target permanent. Equipped creature gets +3/+3, and you equip it for 3. Foggy Swamp Hunters for 3 and a black. As long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn, this creature has lifelink and menace. Kyoshi Warriors for 3 and a white. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. A Canyon Crawler for 4 and 2 black. Death Touch. This creature enters, create a food token, and Swamp Cycling 2. And First Time Flyer for 1 and a blue. Flying, this creature gets +1/+1 as long as there's a lesson card in your graveyard. Vindictive Warden for 2 and a black or red. Menace, Firebending 1. And for 3, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Walltop Sentries for 2 and a green. Reach and Death Touch. This creature dies. If there's a lesson card in your graveyard, you gain 2 life. Then another Rough Rhino Cavalry. Then we have a card to represent a double-faced card. And a normal Plains. A Corrupt Court Official. Saka, Tenacious Tactician for 1 plus a blue, red, and white. Menace with Prowess. Other allies you control have Menace and Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 white ally creature token. A Knowledge Seeker for 1 and a blue. Vigilance. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Whenever this creature dies, create a clue token. Then Master Piandoa. First Strike. Whenever he attacks, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an ally, equipment, or lesson card from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. A Heartless Act for 1 and a black. Choose 1. Destroy target creature with no counters on it. Or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. Then we have the Deserter for 2 and a red, Firebending 1, Exhaust for 3, put a +1/+1 counter on him. When you next cast a lesson spell this turn, copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy. Compassionate Healer for 1 and a white. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you gain 1 life and scry 1. Callous Inspector for 1 black. Menace. When this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to you. Create a clue token. Lost Days, which I think we've seen before. Wandering Musicians for 3 plus a red or white. Whenever this creature attacks, creatures you control get +1/+0 till end of turn. The Origin of Metal Bending for 1 and a green. Choose 1, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Gains indestructible until end of turn. Then a Boomy Bash for 3 and a red. Choose 1. Deals damage equal to the number of lands you control to target creature, or destroy target land, creature, or non-basic land. Then the Kyoshi Battle Fan for a cost of 2. Whenever this equipment enters, create a 1/1 white ally creature token, then attach this equipment to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and equip for 2. And our last regular booster. Like our first, we found some food and a bear. A shiny full art forest. An abandoned air temple. Land enters tapped unless you control a basic land. Tap it to add a white, and then for 3 and a white, tap to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Then the Face Stealer for 4 and 2 black. is our mythic card. When it enters, exile up to one other target creature. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may exile it, pay a life, choose a creature card exiled with Co. And he has all activated and triggered abilities of the last chosen card. Then we have an Air Nomad Legacy for white and a blue. This enchantment enters, create a clue token, and creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Then an Unlucky Cabbage Merchant for 1 and a green. When this creature enters, create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you search your library this way, put this creature in the bottom of its owner's library, then shuffle. And then a Tundra Tank for 2 and a black. Firebending 1. When this vehicle enters, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn and crew 1. Then Gather the White Lotus for 4 and a white. Create a 1/1 white ally creature token for each plane you control. And then scry 2. An Otter Pigeon for 1 and a blue. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, this creature gets +1/+2 till end of turn and can't be blocked. Path to Redemption for 1 and a white. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. For 5, sacrifice this aura. Exile enchanted creature. Create a 1/1 white ally creature token. Activate only during your turn. The Merchant of Many Hats for 1 and a black. For 2 plus a black, return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Then a Water Bending Lesson, which I think we've seen. A Pillar Launch for a green. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains reach till end of turn. Untap it. Deserter's Disciple for 1 and a red. Tap another target creature you control with power 2 or less. Can't be blocked this turn. And Abandon Attachments for 1 and a blue or red. You may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. And all that's left is our collector booster. All right, we start with an art card. We've got Aang, the Swift Savior. Then we have Aang's Iceberg for 2 and a white. So an enchantment with flash. When this enchantment enters, exile up to 1 other target non-land permanent until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Waterbend 3, sacrifice this enchantment. If you do, scry 2. Then our mythic is a Public Servant for 3 and a blue. You may have Judy enter as a copy of another creature you control, except has her other abilities. The legend rule doesn't apply to permanents you control. And a partner. Then a Firebender Ascension for 1 and a red. When this enchantment enters, create a 2/2 red soldier creature token with Firebending 1. Every creature you control attacking causes a triggered ability of that creature to trigger. Put a quest counter on this enchantment. Then if it has 4 more quest counters on it, you may copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. And Blue Spirit for 3 and a blue. You may cast the first creature spell you cast each turn as though it had flash. Whenever a non-token creature you control enters during combat, draw a card. The Earth King's Lieutenant for a green and a white. Trample, and this creature enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each other ally creature you control. When another ally you control enters, put a +1/+ counter on this creature. Then a nice shiny Plains. Bastion of Remembrance for 2 and a black. This enchantment enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. And then Brainstorm for 1 blue, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. A Giant Fly for 2 and a black. Has flying. Whenever you sacrifice another permanent, this creature gets +1/+0 till the end of turn. A Hermetic Herbalist for a green and blue. You can tap, add 1 mana of any color, or tap to add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast lesson spells. June the Bounty Hunter which we have seen. Gather the White Lotus. Zook's Exile, or Zuko's Exile for 5. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment. Its controller creates a clue token. And a Rumble Arena. And it'll quench you for 1 in a blue. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. So that was everything in our Commander's Bundle for Magic the Gathering: The Last Airbender. As always, hope you enjoyed this unboxing. If so, please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.